Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, good morning. This is the name of my new book, For God's Sake. What has that got to do with beyond conformity? So the topic of my speech today is, for God's sake, why it still makes so much sense to understand religion in our consumption-driven world. Let's go back. Okay? Let's go back. How was religion born? Man invented religion to explain things which he could not understand. Why does the sun rise? Why does the sun set? Why is there wind? Etc., etc. But around 100 years ago, sociologists predicted that with scientific thinking spreading, religion will go away. Man will have explanation for everything, and we will not need religion. So people like Max Weber, Nietzsche, and Karl Marx said, in a few years, in a few decades, there will be no religion in this world. But in fact, we see religion everywhere. I was driving down today, Swamiji told me this nice joke about how in Germany on the wall was written, "God is dead, Nietzsche." So when Nietzsche died, someone went and wrote, "Nietzsche is dead, God." Right? So God continues to live on. So when I started doing my research, I discovered something strange, that in a lot of Indian advertising, bindis and saris seems to have disappeared. And a columnist wrote that we have advertising widows in this country. But is it because women have stopped wearing bindis and saris? Why are advertisers dropping saris and bindis? And when the research, and I went through 40 years of advertising, I discovered that dropping of sari and bindi is really a symbol which advertisers want to give to consumers that they become modern. In reality, women, men, everyone in India are as religious as ever. And in fact, the biggest sign of growth of religion is the growth of festivals. All of you know that the Ganpati or the Sarvajanik Ganpati was invented by Lokmanya Balagangadhar Tilak to get communities together to celebrate in the name of Ganesha. But today this festival, this concept of Sarvajanik Ganpati is there across the country. Be it in Trivandrum, or be it in Bangalore, be it in Hyderabad, there is a Ganpati Mandal. In fact, the Durga Puja today has gone around the country. We have Durga Pandals in Mumbai, in Delhi, okay, which didn't exist 20 years ago. So festival is one sign of religion becoming a stronger force in our country. And what about weddings? In fact, Jawaharlal Nehru wrote in his book, Discovery of India, that religion is in a sense, a wedding is in a sense a religious function. Okay? So religions are becoming bigger and bigger. And did you know that among Christians, leap year is not seen as a good year to get married? Of course, Hindus have various months in which we don't think it's auspicious to get married. Muslims don't have such a categorization, though during Ramadan they don't get married. But if you see weddings which used to be 1 day, 2 day affairs have become 5 day affairs. In fact, even in Kerala, I'm told, where an average wedding used to last between 3.5 to 4 minutes, today they're talking of 3 day weddings. Okay, weddings are becoming big, and even religious rituals in weddings are becoming big, and young people are willing to actively participate in these rituals. So when you get married, you feel happy, what do? You travel. Okay? And research says that 50% of all the leisure travel in India is for religious reasons. And in India is dotted with innumerable holy places to visit. Holy places are very conveniently besides rivers, beautiful rivers, and seesaw, they are on hills. And in fact, there's a wonderful book written by Professor Diana Eck of Harvard called India, A Sacred Geography. In that she talks about all the tirthas and the dhams, and I found it fascinating. There are hundreds of places. Tirthas are where we cross, and dhams are where we settle, and there are numerous wonderful places around India where people go to. Close to 50% of Indians travel for religious reasons. So we travel, and then where do we go? We go home. right? And our homes have become holy. Vastu Shastra, which none of us knew about 20 years ago, today has become a huge force. No builder can hope to sell a flat if the flat is not Vastu compliant. And in reality, Vastu, the ancient design of houses and actually temples, says that the middle part of the house should be open to the sky. I'm yet to see a flat which is Vastu compliant in this country. But there are numerous consultants who are making good money certifying this house is Vastu compliant, right? So we live in a very holy house, and what do? We switch on the holy TV. Religious programming has changed television in this country and more. Arvind Rajagopal, New York University, wrote a book called Politics After Television. The telecast of Ramayana and Mahabharata in the mid-80s, according to him, revived Hindutva in this country, brought Hindutva back onto political main stage. So whether it is Ramayana, Mahabharata, or you go back, the first movie ever made in this country was Raja Harishchandra. And there's a wonderful Marathi film called Harishchandrachi Factory, which kind of traces the story of how this film got made, right? So we have had a huge marriage of entertainment and religion in this country, and this is not going away in the near future. In fact, it is growing. And in fact, it's growing so well that Shiva has become cool. Thanks to Amish Tripathi and his trilogy of books, which I'm told have sold something like 5 million copies. The single largest selling author of Indian fiction recent times, Amish, right? And Amish made Shiva cool. And of course, there is a wonderful television program called Mahadev, okay, which is a top program. In this, the Shiva is not a scrawny, dirty person. He has got 6 packs. He runs. He jumps. And if you've read Amish's book, Shiva uses pretty interesting inebriums as well, right? So Shiva has become very, very cool. And the oldest form of worship which we've had is religious music. The oldest form of worship we've had is sitting and singing. So here is a little anecdote. We had this interesting film idea where 8, 9 people had taken off their clothes and they've given it to this lady of the house to wash it in the so-called huge washing machine, and these 6, 7 people are standing around and they were saying no washing machine can wash so many clothes in one shot. So we wanted to get them to sing that it can't be done, no machine can do it. We tried 6, 7 different musical formats, none of them worked. Finally, we looked up to divine inspiration. And we got it from what is known as the Gregorian chant. Gregorian chant is a musical form invented by the monks of Central and Western Europe, and it is a monotonic kind of a music without any musical accompaniment. That music saved, this particular ad, which went on to be a crowd pleaser and very successful in selling products. But that aside, close to 40% of all music other than Bollywood in India is religious music, whether it is bhajans, etc., etc. And of course, a lot of people today have collaring back tones, which are pretty holy. You get various music during Ayappa time. You get Ayappa collaring back tones. During Diwali, you get Diwali ring back tones. So you get great amount of ring back. So ring back tone again has become very, very holy. And here is a little anecdote. Do you know Parsi-owned cars in Bombay fetch a much better price? Parsis are seen to be a community which look after things well. And therefore, a friend of mine said he got only 50,000 rupees for his 5-year-old Corolla. I said, look, you're a Parsi, you got 50,000 rupees. I would have got 40,000 rupees. Right? A Sikh would have got 30,000 rupees. A Sindhi may have never been able to sell the car. So we have, in our country, we have managed to typecast different communities and religions so crazily thanks to our television, thanks to our movies. And the puja. The puja boom is everywhere. The agarbatti business is worth more than 1,000 crores. So are other forms of business. I never knew that Rudraksh is advertised in full page in Times of India newspaper. Okay, and there are special Rudraksh sold for 1,000 rupees. Okay, no one could have thought of this, right? How do you, sell Rudraksh, which is 1,000 rupees? Okay, so the way we do pray, and I'm told 90% of Indians claim to be praying every day. And what do? It may be a 5-minute prayer, be a 10-minute prayer, but they pray every day. And today, they've got a new way of doing this prayer, right? A new way of doing this prayer, sitting at home, but praying in different places, which is with technology. Now, if we go back and remember what Max Weber said, what Nietzsche said, they said technology, scientific thinking will, in a sense, make the importance of religion and God go away. Today we are finding that religion has embraced the internet and the internet has embraced religion. Today, sitting in your home, you can perform an arti in Siddhivinayak temple or in Venkateshwara, right? And there was a huge debate that who invented the internet, right? Al Gore said he invented it. Vint Cerf said someone else invented it. But Pope Francis has finally solved the mystery. He says God invented the internet. And it's interesting. He made the speech on the day celebrating the World Communication Day. And it's very interesting that he made this comment that religion was invented to build a network of human beings, to help us behave better with each other. In a sense, internet is doing the same thing. And he says internet is not a connection of wires. It is a connection of people. Okay, and I think that's a profound thought coming from the Pope. And I think religion will continue to grow thanks to, forward-thinking, religious leaders like Pope Francis. Okay? And what else do we do with the internet as far as religion is concerned? We buy gifts, right? We buy expensive gifts. There are $1,000 Ganesha idols which are being sold. There is a Landro Krishna sold for several $100s, right? And there are a huge amount of religious figurines sold for absurd amount of money. But one brand read it wrong in India. They launched the Mahatma Gandhi pen. Unfortunately, they hit the wrong button. In India, luxury and God goes very well together because all our gods are covered in jewelry, right? They wear the finest of clothes, right? So we are quite okay accepting God in a luxury form, but when you start putting Gandhi in the luxury form, it didn't work. As a result, this product had to be withdrawn, and it apparently sold now only in Dubai. Okay? So, but then there is a huge market for God-themed luxury products in this country. I'm sure if they had instead launched a Ganesha pen at $500, $1,000, or maybe a super deluxe luxury pen priced at $5,000, I'm sure a lot of rich people would have bought it for their children so they can get good marks in their exams, right? How can you fail with a Saraswati Mont Blanc? Foolproof, right? Okay. So country is changing, and I think one of the things which we as in business don't understand is a large part of certain sections of society. Okay, and I think today Muslims are about 14% of the Indian population. They're set to become close to 20% in 30 years. We at least confessing, we in the marketing world do not understand the Muslim consumer at all. In fact, we know for a fact a large percentage of Muslim population do not buy insurance because of Islamic beliefs. Halal products are yet to come to India in a big way. Islamic finance is still being debated by RBI. One governor said yes, we should allow it. Now the new governor is saying no. So we don't know. But we don't understand certain communities. And it is better that we start waking up and start understanding how these different religious beliefs, religious cultural beliefs overlap with each other, can affect the way we do business. Okay? Which brings me to an important point about spirituality and business education. We, in our business schools, do not spend enough time understanding what are the difference in religions, how do they affect consumer behavior, and how we need to understand it in order not just to sell funny products, but to just understand so that we don't hurt anyone's sentiment. I don't think we are doing enough of this. Right? And there is this old joke about this teacher in class asking this class 5 students, saying, children, what is common to Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, Guru Nanak, and Mahavir? And the kid in the last row puts up his hand and shouts, they were all born on government holidays. Now, our knowledge of religion has to be better than that. Okay? It has to be better than that. So, in fact, in my book, I'm talking about the celebratory aspect of religion. How religion can we can actually celebrate our religious diversity in this wonderful country of ours and lead a great and happy life. And I'd leave you with one thought. Wouldn't it be better to buy more cars, more books, more pens in the name of religion rather than shed more blood and tears? So, thank you very much.